Hello there friends, the official CS2 season has come to an end. The next big tournaments will happen only at the end of January. This means that it's the time to make reshuffles, introduce new players and prepare in full for the future RMR. Naturally, at the end of the year I can prepare a bunch of different results, dream teams and so on, but let's talk about that later. Today we will talk about the latest news, and without further ado, let's get straight to it. We start as always with the official reshuffles, and we've got several very interesting transfers here. In the last video we discussed how Falcons kicked everyone out and signed a really good roster. They bought a trio from ENCE, which automatically got them an RMR slot, and overall they can claim for a place among the best. Although after Falcons were denied by Nico, Twists and M0NESY, it seemed that the Sheikh's plan had failed, but no. Still, another question arises: what will happen to ENCE now? Only Glaive, Diha and Nerds remained there after the reshuffle, and well, the Israeli seems to be also taken away. All the rumors were confirmed and he moved to Heroic. By the way, speaking of the devil, as you know, after the departure of Kadian, Yabi and Stavn, there are only two full-fledged players left in Heroic, Tassus and Shush. Dupree was signed only until the end of 2023 and Zyphon was invited for a couple of tournaments, and that's all. So Heroic urgently needs more long-term team members, and suddenly Nikodos became the new sniper. Well, this was kinda obvious because Heroic needed a sniper after Kadian left, and there are not so many oppers available now. And well, Nikodos showed himself very well in Prezi. The guys even won the European Pro League the other day and won like $11,000. Anyways, they lose super rarely, only 2 times in the entire November. For me, for example, the signing seems excellent, and now the lineup looks like this: Tassus, Shush, Nerds, Nikodos and Dupree. In fact, they're already a good team, but they clearly lack a captain. And here's one more: Dupree left Heroic and was replaced by the 23-year-old Macedonian Kekson, who will be the new captain of the team. Wow, guys, how do you like that? I think it's a risky move and only time will tell, but it's uncomfortable even to say that the captain of Heroic is Kekson and not Kadian. But, well, the times, you know. Anyways, Kekson is a good lad, so let's wait and see. Well, but the most unexpected thing, of course, happened to ENCE. As you know, Sanpayas and Maiden left, Nerds went to Heroic, and only Glaive and Diha remained. And people talked that Diha was really close to signing with 9, but then something happened. No one expected it at all. Basically, if Diha doesn't go to 9, then 9 themselves will come to Diha. ENCE simply signed Hades, Skylar and Goofy. 3 Poles plus 2 other Poles, Diha and Kuben, unite into a mega pole. I mean ENCE. Now Glaive is the only non-Polish player in this team. I think he's probably sitting there like thinking, how did I end up here? What the hell? And no, in no case I'm hating 9 for sure, but this is probably the most unobvious thing that could have happened to ENCE. And the second question is how they will communicate now. Like full English because of Glaive, or the legendary ex-Astralis major winning player will have to learn Polish now. Why don't like take snacks and have 99 problems but the language ain't one? In short, clearly no one expected this, and probably Glaive himself too. So far he's only joking on Twitter and asking to call him Lukasz. Let's wait and see how he will speak after their first official games. Also, there were rumors that ENCE wanted to sign the trio from Monte, Woro2k, Demki and Krasnal, but the guys refused and the idea came to sign the trio from 9. By the way, Woro2k and Demki just signed new long-term contracts with Monte, so they will stay. Also, many analysts see no future in ENCE because there's no point in building a Polish squad with and probably around only one Dane. What's the point of the language barrier? For example, here's what Maniac says: look, I'm glad for the 9 core. ENCE is a super jersey to represent, and the synergy with Dika and Kuben makes sense. Now, can we just send Glaive to Heroic immediately, or do we all need to waste a few months before what seems like an inevitable change? And I mean, I agree with him. In general, Glaive in Heroic looks just perfect. The Danes all over plus Nerds. What a lineup could it be? Glaive reunited with Dupree and some super players, but as you already know, it's not gonna happen as Kekson joined the team. It's unlikely that Glaive will leave for another team in a couple of months after an announcement from ENCE. What do you think, guys? And by the way, many noticed that, in fact, Yabi and Stavn destroyed several teams at once with their transfer. Heroic, who had to urgently look for a replacement, ENCE losing the whole roster, 9 completely dismantled, and now changes also going on in Astralis, the very same team they went to. For example, the other day they removed their coach coach Castle. He's been with the team since 2022. In short, this crazy year of insane reshuffles just continues to go on and on. If one day I think no one can surprise me more, people somehow managed to do it. The next official announcement happened in Team Spirit. Yes, you all know this already, we've been talking about this for several videos in a row, but now it's official. Shiro has moved to Team Spirit from CLOUD9. Harumi said that the transfer cost $1,750,000, while Simple said that Shiro's buyout wasn't that big. And then information came from Overdrive, who suddenly doesn't know a thing, yet he works in Team Spirit structure and clearly should know the exact numbers. So yeah, I guess someone's lying. Okay, firstly, Overdrive said that the Falcons, Virtus.pro, Fnatic, Parry, Vision and OneWin were interested in Shiro, but he easily and pretty quickly chose Spirit. And it turns out that the team players knew about this transfer even before the start of BB Dacha. This makes it even more surprising. Kudos to Artfrost, who played amazingly, helping the team to come back from an 0-2 in the Grand Finals. Perhaps this is the secret ingredient here, just like in FaZe Clan, no pressure at all makes you play a lot better. So realistically speaking, and after connecting all the dots, I think that Shiro's transfer fee is a little more than $1 million or something around it. Not a bad amount, on par with Device and Nico, for example. This is approximately what a top player in CS2 is worth now, so we'll have to adapt to such prices. However, many people didn't like the reshuffle. Part of the community believes that Team Spirit acted really coldly with Artfrost, kicking him after such a good performance and all the loyalty he gave. Moreover, they don't see Shiro fitting into Chopper's system. After all, he's a ready-made player who has always played with M0NESY and achieved success with him and only him. While Artfrost is a guy from Team Spirit Academy, training specifically for Team Spirit, for their main lineup, grinding the playstyle they wanted. And you know, as soon as he started to succeed, he was immediately replaced. And honestly, it's not a fact that Shiro will get along with Young Dong, Zontex and Magix. But for example, M0NESY, on the contrary, believes that everything is super great for Team Spirit and they got much better with this transfer. And yeah, I honestly agree with him, because Team Spirit can succeed now and reach a new level because Shiro is like a top-notch player Team Spirit never had before. Although surely they could have succeeded and done this with Artfrost, only now this path may take a little less time. Well, it's clear that when a top 3 player of 2022 appears on the market, you can't miss such an opportunity, especially when Team Spirit has the money, you know, because of the Dota 2 team. Friends, what do you think? Is this a good reshuffle or should have Team Spirit stayed with Artfrost? Write in the comments below, let's discuss. By the way, judging by the rumors from Overdrive, Artfrost will not sit without the team for long. He will be taken to Parry Vision. They are assembling a new lineup, and if all the insights come true, we will see the next 5 players together: Jerry, Artfrost, Patsy, Kickert and X5. Now this looks like a solid Eastern European team. Obviously a better tier that can compete on a higher level than, for example, Cyber Alliance Cups or whatever. Well, also on this topic, the money that Cloud9 received for Shiro immediately went to Blast. Next year we will see Cloud9 at all Blast tournaments because they are now partners officially, and finally, thank God, no more qualifiers. They bought this slot from EG, who, as you remember, are leaving CS altogether. That's basically an ideal investment. All that remains is to find a new sniper, but we'll talk about that later. As Sponge underlines, the slot might have cost around $900,000. It turns out that Shiro even left some change to spare. As for the evil geniuses themselves, they don't even have a team left. Junior and George have officially left the squad and are rumored to be moving to ENCE. Only Automatic and Valko are left on paper. In short, all the predictions from Richard Lewis came true. The Blast slot was sold, the team has disbanded, the League of Legends very expensive slot was also sold, and although they still have a Valorant team for some reason, well, actually the Valorant team is self-sustainable, I think, so it's okay. And we've got some other stuff left. First, Thomas returned into the breach. It's not entirely clear what's going on there, but now they have a slot for the next RMR, and I think that was basically the reason. Second, Rainwaker returned to the Bulgarians in Team 500. Looks like bro has won a lottery of some sort and went back home after a vacation with his pockets full of cash. Well, okay, good luck, guys. Yeah, and let's get back to the NA scene for a second. Jason Lake, the former owner of Complexity, plans to buy the org back from Game Square and has already begun to raise funds for this through the joint efforts of investors. To be honest, for me personally, it's a bit strange. Maybe I don't know something, but why was it sold in the first place in this case? However, fans have already started to get excited and they decided to help Lake and spread inspiration for the bright future of North America. Truly believers, aren't they? By the way, the fans also ask Lake if the deal gets successful to return to the original red and white colors. At the same time, the current CEO of Complexity, M0NESY, also calculated how much the team traveled in 2023. Here are some wild numbers from the world of esports. One player spent an average of 210 nights in hotels. They had 430 flights, 86 per person. They spent 2,073 hours in the air. They had 196 transfers for a total of 508 hours. And all of this is just crazy. According to M0NESY, also the org is trying its best to optimize the travel schedule, so each bootcamp is held near or in the country city of the nearest tournament. Honestly, it's a nightmare, it's hard to imagine such a lifestyle. However, for example, this post caused a serious reaction from Cloud9's Perfecto, who suddenly dropped a hefty post for the first time, like, ever. He told his opinion on this matter. It's funny to see such stories from Complexity every year, like players aren't around their families and all that. I went to my first bootcamp in 2018, and after that I see my family once every 6 months at best. But it's your choice. If you want to become a professional and achieve something in this game, you need to sacrifice something, sometimes very important. Guys, do you agree with Perfecto or is he too strict? Write your thoughts in the comments below. And speaking of Cloud9, again, what about their vacant sniper position? I mean, not literally vacant, of course, every player is in place, but they lack a sniper though in their team play style or whatever. And that's not only me, the entire community speaks about this. It's impossible to play without an op specialist these days, but according to Overdrive, Cloud9 will continue to play like this. People asks when Cloud9 will sign an opper or make a roster change. I'm sure that they will not touch it until the end of the major. At the last two tournaments they were not in the perfect shape, and I also don't believe that Cloud9 will succeed without an op, but they can play much better than they did recently. And hey, in fact, there are not many free players or easy options now. Artfrost is already in Parry, Vision, judging by rumors, Shiro will not return obviously, and there's Dexter, Simple and M0NESY. And the last two are the most talked about. And don't forget that Simple promised to release a huge interview at the end of December, and we'll see what he will do next. Well, for example, here's what Boomich answers when asked if he wants to play with Simple again. I don't have a super hate or a super desire to do it. I am happy with everything in my team. Sneaky Boomich won't tell, eh? But M0NESY does. He baits the audience with all his might. The same thing happened before moving to G2, by the way.
Говорят, CLOUD9 нет авика. Поговаривают.
Well, yeah, he's just an actor without an Oscar. So do you believe we can really see him in Cloud9? He urgently needs to flee from G2 before the Kovac family completely takes over the org. Who knows what will happen then? And who would you like to see in M0NESY's place? Write your thoughts in the comments below, as always. And finally, let's talk about the Blast World Finals. I didn't take up your time and review the last match because it was a one-way game, to be honest. 13-7 and 13-5. FaZe Clan couldn't even take 13 rounds in 2 maps. This is how good, great, magnificent Vitality is. M0NESY just fits in like a glove, and by the way fought with ZywOo for the MVP medal until the very end. Naturally, Matteo overtook and won his 18th MVP in his career and his 5th this year. One more MVP and he will catch up with Device, and then Simple is just a stone's throw away. And yeah, to be honest, this year's top 1 player is already clear in advance. events. There can't even be any questions about it. By the way, Zyvu himself said that now the best CS2 players are Nico and, unexpectedly, Shiro. Like, no wonder Team Spirit paid $1 million for him. He hasn't played in 2 months and is still the best in Zyvu's opinion. And as Apex said after the finals, 2023 is the year of team vitality. And it's hard to argue with that. They've won 5 huge tournaments and took the major. Zyvu is the best player on the planet at the moment. So yeah, 2023 is definitely the year of team vitality. But we also must not forget about the second final of the year, ESL Challenger at DreamHack Atlanta. Yes, there were fewer tier 1 teams, but still the tour turned out to be very powerful. By the way, Virtus.pro won it and Fame received the MVP medal. Congratulations, guys. Now this is essentially the end of the season. And guys, for almost a month, no events, no tournaments, nothing. Which means I will sum up the year. If you would like to see me posting videos about the top 20 players of the year, or assemble a dream team, or pick 5 best teams or anything else, leave your comments below and vote by liking the video. And remember, as soon as something happens, I will immediately release a new video for you. I won't say goodbye for a long time, guys. See you soon.